Carly Fiorina was asked a question by a bigot at one of her events, and her response was better than Donald Trump's.
I want to ask you about, I heard that Carly Fiorina on the stump today in Iowa faced a rather bigoted question from a voter. What happened? How'd you handle it?
Yeah, you know, this was a question that was very similar to one that Donald Trump recently got about Muslims in the U.S. I think we have a little bit of sound. Let's take a listen to that.
Especially the Muslims are really raising heck right now. They want us to change our whole country to suit them. If they don't like the United States, get out of here. Take your camel and beat it.
Well, you know, people are so frustrated and angry with the immigration situation. Let me say that one of the most important things about this nation is that we judge people as individuals. So I'm not willing to condemn any group of people. I'm willing to judge each individual.
Now you see there, Carly Fiorina handling this question much more adeptly than Donald Trump did, where he just kind of pretended like this wasn't an insult toward an entire population of people, saying, look, we need to judge people individually. And yes, there's an issue with our immigration system, and we will deal with that. But you can't paint an entire group of people negatively like that.
So I have many thoughts watching that. First of all, it indeed is true that she did a better job than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, when somebody asked a question at one of his rallies, saying, we got a problem in America. It's called Muslims. When can we get rid of them? That's what he said. Donald Trump's response was, yo, we got people looking into stuff and whatnot. Whoa, dude. The most obvious bigot in the world, and Donald Trump's, rolling with it. And compare that to McCain from back in the day when somebody said, Obama's an Arab. Obama's a Muslim. McCain was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. He's a good person. Which is actually kind of funny because the implication is Arabs and Muslims can't be good people. But Obama's a good person. But even that was better than what fucking Trump said. Well, here we have Fiorina, who's presented with a clearly bigoted question. And she's like, well, I mean, come on. I understand people are frustrated, but people are individuals. You got to look at people as individuals. Don't, condemn whole groups and stuff like that. So, yeah, credit that she did better than Trump, but think about how low the fucking bar is for this Republican Party. Because, okay, it was a decent response. It wasn't a great response, because did you hear what that fucking guy said? He said, why can't they take their camel and leave? Take their camel? So, American Muslims, which American Muslims have camels? I'm curious. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, he's just obviously taking a ridiculous stereotype. He's like, take your camels and leave. Whoa, what is this? What is this? And then, so she didn't respond to that part of it, and the appropriate response to that would have been, excuse me? Take your camel and leave? You know how ridiculous that sounds, right? Or something along those lines, but no, of course not. And then the guy also said, well, Muslims want to change our whole country to suit them. Which Muslims? What are you talking about? You do know that the Muslim American population is what, about 1% of the population, if that? And when you look at polling data, American Muslims are actually more liberal on many issues than the fundamentalist Christians. I told you Gallup did a poll one time, and they asked, do you condemn violence against civilians in all circumstances? More American Muslims said yes than Christians did. So, we're talking about a highly secular community in America. It's like 1% of the population, if that. I've seen 0 cases where they're trying to, Sharia law, trying to force it on people in Oklahoma. But he goes and says, well, they're trying to change our whole country. Total phantom fucking fear. There's so many real problems. Like, the Muslims are going to take over. No, they're not. No, they're simply not. And of course, there's a lot of projection in this too. Because it's usually fundamentalist Christians who whine about Muslims in America, and it's the fundamentalist Christians trying to push creationism in the science class, trying to force their version of history into the textbooks and take out things that are inconvenient liberal facts like secularism at our founding. And, they try to be overtly religious, and they support people like Santorum and fucking Huckabee who are openly theocratic. So, okay, better response than Trump. I am giving you credit for that, but goddamn, the bar is low. This person just said, why can't they take their camels and leave, and they're trying to change the country. She didn't just say, no, you're a bigot. That's ridiculous. Next question. She had to say, well, there's some legitimate concerns you have, and people have, but we have to judge people as individuals. And the media's like, oh, yes, as Bill Maher calls them, a potty-trained Republican, yes. That bar is too low.